What's going on, gamers? DBMgamer here, and what I want to talk about today is the Hardline trailer, aka the Omaha trailer. That got leaked today. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to James Turley, who commented on a couple of my videos and then also gave me a sub. And I really appreciate that, guys, because that helps this little channel of mine grow, knowing people are looking at it and commenting on it. So I certainly do appreciate that. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. They had an update for a battle log, and within that update, someone happened to notice that in the emblem creator that there was a visceral skull. So that led a couple people to start digging into the lines of code within the battle log. After digging into it, they started coming up with different class names that were a little out of the ordinary, different game modes that were a little out of the ordinary. They're not part of anything that's associated with battle log, which is Medal of Honor, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. And then right after that, on the Twitter account for Battlefield Daily, they began to release page after page after page of images that looked like they would be associated with Battlelog, if you're familiar with EA's social site. That sort of matched up to what you would have seen within Battlelog. So, and you got to see a couple of things that were not in really any game. There was like a taser in there, a sawed-off shotgun. Look like a double-barrel shotgun with the nose cut off. So there's some pretty interesting images if you pour it over them. I'll put the link in the description. Just check the about box. And then the following day, Visceral Steve Pakutits. So Steve got on Battlefield's blog and began to talk about how they kind of came up with the concept for doing this cops and robbers type Battlefield game that had been rumored for a while, and that seemed like that was going to be the end of it. But oh no, did the floodgates open. And then a trailer leaked. Everywhere I've gone that I've tried to catch this trailer, YouTube pulls it down as quickly as they can at the request of EA, because on the bottom tagline of the video it says, property of EA, confidential, yada yada yada. So they really didn't want anybody looking at this. What my assumption is this trailer was what they were possibly going to show at E3. We'll never know, because now the cat's kind of out of the bag, so they may have to do something a little different for E3. But this title is pretty much going to be shown at E3. They all but said it. And within the trailer, it rattles off a couple of things that they're working with on this game. One of them being different game modes for multiplayer. One of them's heist mode, where as robbers you break into a bank and the cops try and stop you from getting away with the cash. Lists off a rescue mode, which is exactly what it sounds like. You have to run into an enclosed area, rescue some hostages. The hotwire mode, which was sort of the action bit of the trailer. It's a pretty wild car chase where cars shooting back and forth at each other. Then the last mode that it lists off is the blood money mode, which is there's a pile of cash in the center of the map, and the cops and robbers fight over it to secure it and then return it back to their base. And well, that's captured the flag, guys. And then from there, it transitions into one of the telling things about this particular game is it's actually coming. I think it's coming in two parts, a multiplayer part and a single player part, because it lists on Project Omaha, because it keeps repeating it. It doesn't refer to itself within the video as Hardline. It refers to itself as Omaha, and it was kind of known that they were working on a Project Omaha, but it didn't really have an official name. But it says Visceral's single player, and it refers specifically to Visceral. So what I'm thinking is DICE is not going to be doing the single player on this one. They're going to stick strictly with Visceral on this. But I think there's a good chance that DICE is going to be doing the multiplayer mode on this. But as far as the single player, it rattles off some of the details of that campaign mode. It's got a couple of named actors playing roles in it. It's going to be set up like a cop drama, episode to episode, with cliffhangers in between episodes. So it looks pretty interesting. They kind of give you an example of an area and how different ways you can possibly approach it, whether from up high or just go in guns blazing. So it honestly it looks like a single player that might be one of the better Battlefield single players, because the last two, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, were not very good multiplayer, not very good single players. And then it kind of goes back into some of the extra little gadgets and goodies that are going to be in the multiplayer, being the stuff like the sawed-off shotguns, tasers, grappling hooks, zip lines, stuff like that. And then it lists off the vehicle mayhem, because that's personally what I come to Battlefield 4 is the vehicle mayhem. And you're going to be running vehicles such as muscle cars, police cruisers, planes, choppers, some personnel carriers. One of the things that it actually mentions but does not show is boats. They're nowhere in the trailer do you see a boat, but they do mention it in the when they're rattling off the list of vehicles. So there may be some boats in this game as well, guys. So hours after this happened, Steve Pahutsits went on his Twitter account and literally said, "So yeah, that happened." He said, likely referring to yesterday's battle log leak and today's video leak. Now he wanted to unveil the hardline, but it's all good. So he didn't really want to wait till E3 anyway to talk about it. He goes on to state that the video that's out there, it was for an internal meeting, and that it's 6 months old now, and the team has been cracking on it since then, and you'll see the real deal at E3. So that's all but saying that yeah, we're going to see more about this Battlefield Hardline game at E3. It says they're also pouring over everything we've got, and they're stoked to share more details on June 9th. And maybe even a little more before then. At the rate that they're going, we'll probably be playing it, because the leaks are coming hard on this one. Well, speaking of leaks, it's not all water under the bridge, guys. They just recently learned that one of the Electronic Arts quality assurance testers has been fired, and it's rumored that he was fired for leaking information stating that the Battlefield developer DICE was working on just the multiplayer portion of the game. And then if you talk to Steve here, he's also basically saying that they're concentrated on the single player specifically. Well, you put it all together, it looks like DICE is doing the multiplayer, Visceral's doing the single player, and this is what you're going to get. Well, at any rate, I'm kind of excited to possibly get my hands on this. Well, at least to see if the multiplayer is better than what we're dealing with right now with Battlefield 4, and it's had its ups and its downs. Like the last 6-7 months have kind of been meh, and I don't think they're ever really going to get this game tightened up. So yeah, maybe another Battlefield title is in line to be released. So there you go. That's kind of the details on what was in the leaked Omaha trailer. I, for one, am kind of looking forward to it. At least seeing this a little more details as far as E3. I mean, that's all they're going to say. It's possibly going to release this fall. Like I said, but it's all a lot of rumors and speculation at this point. And we'll get all the real info at E3. But till then, guys, as always, have a good one.